Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, my name is FIQHAN KHOIRUL Alim, and in here I would like to present about the history of Islamic civilization in Indonesia. In here we have 6 focus discussion. In the first is the theory of the entry of Islam to Indonesia. In the second is the spread of Islam in Indonesia. And the third is Islamic kingdom in Indonesia. And the fourth is Islamic tradition that still exists today. And the fifth is Islamic organization in Indonesia. And the last is the influence of Islam in Indonesia. In the first topic is the theory of entry of Islam to Indonesia. There are 4 theories that says entry of Islam to Indonesia. The first is Gujarat, the second is Mecca, and the third is Persia, and the last is China. The first is Gujarat theories, triggered by KWJ Drewes. Islam was spread by traders from Gujarat, India in 13th centuries, with evidence of the discovery of the tomb of Malik as-Saleh, with number is 12 and 1907. He is the founder of Kesultanan Samudra Pasai in Aceh. And the second is the Makkah theory. This theory, encouraged by J.C. van Leur, Anthony H. Jones, until Buya Hamka. This theory explained that Islam entered Indonesia since 7th century, with ancient record from China that explain the settlement of Arab on the west coast of Samudra in the 625 AD. And the third is the Persia or Iran. This theory, supported by Umar Amir Hussein and Hussein Jaya Diningrat, entered at 13th century with the evidence similarities of Islamic tradition in Indonesia with Persia. And the last is China, triggered by Chin A. Berli, explain if Indonesia entering to Nusantara together with China's migration to Southeast Asia. They entered Palembang in. The next is the spread of Islam in Indonesia. In the first is trading. This is first step spreading Islam in Indonesia, approximately since 7 centuries. And the next is the marriage. Marriage is a continuation of stage of trade because the trading have been long time in Indonesia, so he need marriage. And the name of Arab settlement is Pekojan. And the next is with education. In education, ulama, kiai, and guru is important role in Islamic spreading, with his century to spreading to other people in Indonesia. And the fourth is with art. Islamic spreading through art, like sculpture, calligraphy, and literature. And with the famous, as we know, like wayang, tembang, and etc. And the fifth is with politics. The power of king is important role in spreading of Islam, because if the king converted to Islam, indirectly the people will follow it. And the last is tasawuf. With this spirit, Islam spreading to the people in Indonesia. Why? Because the Indonesian people very like with the mystic and magician. And the next is Islamic Kingdom in Indonesia. Islamic Kingdom in Indonesia is so many, and I just gathered 10 kingdom in Indonesia. Like you look in table now, you can read by yourself. Thanks. In the next is the Islamic tradition that still exists. The first is halal bihalal. Halal bihalal, as you know together, is the silaturahmi agenda and giving at the Sawal month. And the second is the tradisi skaten or skaten tradition. This tradition doing once at 1 year in Surakarta and Yogyakarta for memories of Maulid Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the third is Kerobok Mau. This tradition is same, but the celebration is different. The celebration in doing in Kedaton Kutai area Kartanegara. Fourth is Tabot tradition or Tabui. Tabui is Bengkulu traditional ceremony to memorize the death of Hussein. This like the Syiah tradition. And the fifth is the Kupatan tradition. The Kupatan tradition is the making ketupat and celebrate every 7 of Shawwal as the first ketupat, and the ketupat is very nice, yeah. And the sixth is tumpeng. This tradition from the acculturation from local tradition, and now is become of symbol in tasyakuran, and every tasyakuran there is tumpeng, and this is the very good and very nice. This is food, and there are so many etc. of the Islamic tradition who exist until now. In the next discussion is the Islamic organization. There are two types of Islamic organization from me. The first is before freedom. Before freedom, like you know, there are Jamiatul Khair, Persatuan Umat Islam, Muhammadiyah, Al-Irsyad, Persis, NU, dan Persatuan Tarbiyah Indonesia. And after freedom there is so many, and you can read by yourself. Okay, thanks you. And the last discussion is the influence of Islam in Indonesia. There are 4 of Islam in Indonesia from me. The first is art and culture. The second is Islamic and teaching, and the third is government system, and the fourth is calendar system. In the first is art and culture. Mosque buildings, traditional carving, and painting arts found in ancient mosques and palace building, dance and music art such as Seudati, namely traditional Aceh Nese, folk art in the form of dancer or singing. In addition, Islamic literature has also developed such as saga, chronicle, and suluk. And the second is Islamic philosophy and teaching. Compiled science that describe the kinds of regulation, and laws to determine the obligation of the Islamic community to God, the science of Sufism, and other Islamic teaching. The third is government system. The king was replaced by the sultan. The positioning of the kings is not hereditary but is more democratic. And the fourth or the last is the calendar system. After the entry of Islam, we know the Hijrah calendar system, or we know is Hijriah. And that's all from me. And I think you must ask to me, this is so little from the huge material of history, civilization in Indonesia. So you must ask to me. Can I hope I can giving answer the question. And the last, I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.